TGIT, thank goodness it's today. TGI, thank goodness it's TJ. You guys know the deal. We're just gonna go through some insightful quotes, see how we can apply it from a mental health standpoint for the remainder of this week to help you get closer to your genuine, authentic self. First one, more is lost by indecision than wrong decision. I say it again for the people in the back, more is lost by indecision than wrong decision. All right, so we get so worked up on, is this the right choice? Is this the right choice? Is this the right choice? Regardless of whether it ends up going awesome or maybe it goes a little less than you expect, either way, you can turn it in the future into something that is as close to a blessing as a learning experience as possible. So if you get so worked up on the decisions individually, just say that, hey, this one feels right. I'm gonna try to do this. I know it could possibly go wrong, but keep in mind that the more that you just don't decide to do anything, okay, that's gonna be so much worse than waiting for the right decision, right? So just make some wrong decisions, right? You'll be fine, you'll learn, you'll grow, and guess what? They're most likely gonna turn out a lot better than you think, okay? Next one, if any person despises me, that is their problem. My only concern is not doing or saying anything deserving of the contempt, okay? I know we get so worked up about what people think of us, this and that, and we work so hard trying to change people's minds, but all that we can do is let people believe whatever the heck they want about us. The only thing we are called to do is to just give it no evidence, no proof that that actually transpires or that actually be thought about us. Because oftentimes we get so worked up about it, we think, we actually end up starting to become that in a way. So once again, just make sure that you can look back on your day and say, guess what? I did nothing in my day to make somebody dislike me or think this certain way about me, because I want people, when it gets brought up, like, TJ, psh, no, right? There's no way that's true, right? And you can do the same thing if you focus more so on your actions, not on what people are kind of saying around you, right? Next one, my problem was that I always try to go in everyone's way but my own. I've also been called one thing and then another while no one really wished to hear what I called myself, okay? So this is where you really sit down with yourself. What are some of your purposes? What are some of your positive traits? What are some of the things that you want either yourself or others to believe about you, and what kind of thoughts and behaviors can get you closer to that? Because a lot of us have labeled ourselves because of the labels that were given onto us by others, but what's mostly important is what you label yourself, and knowing that with your thoughts and with your behaviors, you can absolutely change the script and the trajectory for the rest of your life every single day, okay? So don't worry about what they call you. What do you call yourself, right? And if you don't know, you got to really figure that out. You got to dive in, because subconsciously you're not going to come up with those types of things on your own, right? Next one, the more I expect, the more unhappy I'm going to be. The more I accept, the more serene I am. If you're expecting certain things from certain people, imagining them to, or expecting them to just kind of fix themselves or to improve just automatically outside of their own awareness, you are just wasting your time. The more that you can accept these certain little tidbits about people, accept some of the more negative aspects of what can transpire from maybe some of those wrong decisions that we talked about earlier, the more that you can accept it, the more serene and in control that you feel, instead of just playing it around in your head so much, which is like our brain likes to trick us how to do. So once again, the more you accept, the more serene and a little bit more easier, a little more control you're gonna feel, if nothing else, just of yourself, which is most important, as opposed to just expecting all these things, right? Next one, I bear the wounds of all the battles I avoided, okay? Those shoulda, woulda, couldas, man. I could have done this and I backed out. Oh, this would have been, but I didn't do that in that moment, right? Everything that you avoid passive, you isolate away from, whether people or actual situations, okay? The more that you still wear those wounds, oftentimes we don't do those things because like, oh, I'm gonna get hurt, but every time that you don't actually act on and try to expose yourself and try to challenge and build yourself, the much easier it's going to be for you to get just deeper wounds, right? Deeper wounds in the long run, right? So all those little things that you're trying to kind of play it off, let it slide by, especially when it comes to other people, man, you gotta let that battle be had, obviously mentally, verbally, hopefully not physically, but because the more you do that, the more that you really are still wounding yourself in the long run, making it harder and harder for you to make more impactful decisions on in the future. So once again, we think that by avoiding some of these battles, we're not getting wounds, but we're wounding ourselves in the long run, right? Take the chance, take the risk. No, it's gonna come with some little discomfort from the brain, but ultimately, you can make it through it, right? You're gonna make it through. You've done it for a lot of things thus far, right? Last but not least, one of my favorites, discipline is choosing between what you want now and what you want most. Ooh, I know the people in the back want to hear this one again. Discipline is choosing between what you want now and what you want most. Because what you want now, sometimes you want to hang out, just watch TV, watch Netflix all day, not do anything. What you want right now, I just want to sleep, this and that. But what do you want most? Because a lot of our purposes and goals and our dreams, they won't be improved with just that extra hour of sleep. They won't be improved by watching Netflix all day, right? You have to really consciously bring a certain focus to each and every day. What are you living this life for? Because the more you do, that's going to be easier to make the decisions to do, because do some of the things that are more challenging to do, because anything worthwhile we're learning in life is going to come with some resistance, right? It's going to be a little part of you that says, no, I don't want to do this. I could just lay around and do nothing. If the subconscious mind had its way, it would roll you up like a little taquito in a blanket all day and have you just lay in bed all day, because there's no way that there'd be any possible danger, right? So you've got to identify, what do I want now is not nearly as important as what I want most. So what do you want most? I want to learn languages, I want to travel, I want to do this, I want to do that. Well, you got to do planning, you got to save money, you got to try to come up with some way to make it a reality, business plans, this and that. So once again, although it may be difficult right now, imagine how difficult it's going to be in 10, 15, 20 years when you're in the exact same place, because you chose to do what you wanted to do now, which for a lot of us, it's very easy to say chill. You got to get up and what you want most, right? This podcast, for instance, I wasn't feeling it too much today, but I knew that I had to do it. I knew I had to work through it and had to get off my butt and had to come here because this is what I want most. And I know that a lot of you are going to be doing the same thing, okay? So let's repeat all of those again in rapid fire speed. More is lost by indecision than wrong decision. If any person despises me, that is their problem. My only concern is not doing or saying anything deserving of the contempt. My problem is that I always try to go in everyone's way but my own. I've also been called one thing and then another, while no one really wished to hear what I called myself. The more I expect, the more unhappy I'm going to be. The more I accept, the more serene I am. I bear the wounds of all the battles I avoided. Last but not least, discipline is choosing between what you want now and what you want most. TGIT. Thank goodness it's today. Go out and make it a heck of a week.